Funding for schools nationwide is dropping, and schools are searching for holes in the budget to save money.
Many states and school districts have undertaken important school reform initiatives to prepare children better for the future. But deep funding cuts hamper their ability to implement many of these reforms, particularly in areas like teacher training and early childhood education.
At a time when the nation is trying to produce workers with the skills to master new technologies and adapt to the complexities of a global economy, large cuts in funding for basic education threaten to undermine a crucial building block for future prosperity.
The great majority of states, 37 out of 46 states for which data are available, have cut per student education funding. At least 19 states have cut per student funding by more than 5%.
In this trying time for educational funding, programs that are considered non-academic are being put on the chopping block.
The arts are extremely important, but there's only 10 units are required out of that, all of those for graduation. Whereas 4 years of English, 3 of math, 2 of science, and 3 social science, those are all required. So your funds are going to go there.
Nationwide, music programs have experienced extensive funding cuts over the past several years. On average, only 4% of the $450 billion spent on teaching our children goes to music, which means 55% of our students aren't getting adequate music education. And while local school boards struggle to close ongoing budget gaps and meet new federal requirements, music continues to be cut in the districts across the country.
They're not considered the academic core, which is English, math, science, social science.
Objective assessment is easily applied to the maths and sciences, but not to the arts, making it possible to argue that the arts are not concerned with cognitive development.
Even with a number of reasons for keeping music education in schools, the number of schools which are cutting programs suggests that there must be some valid reasons to cut music education in schools.
One reason to cut music from public schools is because of the cost of music programs. Some would argue that the money spent on a music program might be better spent elsewhere, such as on more classroom teachers or other programs that benefit all students in the school, not just those who opt to enroll in the music program or take music education classes.
Another reason to cut music programs from public schools is because of the limited amount of instructional time in the school day. By cutting and replacing it with reading, math, or similar academic subjects, the school districts may be able to improve their student test scores, which helps to generate federal funding through the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, formerly known as the No Child Left Behind Act.
The final reason for removing music programs from public schools has been that the programs themselves may create a distraction. Rooms located near the music room will forever be competing against the din of musical instruments being played. Students who are taking music may become more involved in their study of music than in their practice of the basics of reading and math.
This difficulty of defining and assessing artistic potential has contributed to the undervaluing of the arts in schools.
I just think that they look at it and go, well, the math, the English, all the good things that you need, the solid core subjects that you need are first, which you can't disagree with, but I wish they would look at the other subjects as part of the educational system that will help, round somebody a little bit more, well educated instead of just educated in the important stuff.
Right.
As dozens of states struggle to balance their budgets, state arts councils are worried that they'll lose funding. In Kansas, Governor Sam Brownback recently gutted the Kansas Art Commission, laid off its staff, and closed its doors.
When the programs such as the arts are cut, the effects are evident.
But there are so many people out there that are very passionate about the arts and preserving the arts that, especially in this school district, you would have a major pushback from parents if anything happened with the music program, the performing arts, the visual arts.
So until it actually is something that is a published, standardized result, I don't think administrators will be as interested in that for their prestige of their school and their success as educators. They want to see those STAR test scores. So that puts music for a lot of people on the back burner.
In 2009, funding for all cultural programs was cut by 34%. This year, the draft city budget proposes an additional 55% to be cut.
quality is often being compromised and some organizations simply can't survive.
Well, I think when funding is low, what they should do is try to get people who will do fundraising for them, like the Eureka Foundation dinner that they do. I know the school districts, I mean, as athletics, as a coach, I know that we have clubs, our booster club will help fundraise for the things we need. I know there's a lot of money to fundraise for, but I think that's what needs to happen, and I think the community needs to do it more than make individuals go out to get music lessons or to get art lessons privately. I think it still needs to be part of the education system. I just think they need to do more to try to fundraise for it by doing events and getting the community involved.
Even though music education is one of the first programs to be cut, the impact it has on students both academically and non-academically is acknowledged.
Also, the College Board's Entrance Examination Board found that students in music appreciation scored 63 points higher on verbal and 44 points higher on math than students with no arts participation.
Reading music is reading just like reading the English language. The difference with reading music is that it has a rhythm and a beat to it, so it enforces fluency upon the student. And so I think reading music definitely has an impact on their ability to read in general and improves their ability to read fluently.
High school music students have been shown to hold higher grade point averages than other non-musician students in the same school.
I also feel it's easy to lose track of important subjects like music and other forms of arts in a time when funding for schools is on the decline and will probably continue to be so for some time. On the one hand, it seems easy to say let's just cut music because what we mostly need to do is teach students how to read, write, and add and subtract, and obviously you can't ignore the core components, but again, education is more than just reading and writing. So some of these other programs, not just music, but other types of arts, libraries, a variety of other subjects. Sports has been cut in many public school districts, not just at the elementary level, but also the high school level. Pretty much anything that's not considered absolutely essential and core has been on the chopping block and will continue to be so for many school districts around the state and frankly around the country.
The schools that produce the highest academic achievement in the United States today are spending 20 to 30% of the day on the arts, with a special emphasis on music.
I think music is a very concrete, skill-oriented subject where the student learns self-discipline and expression and develops all kinds of skills that I think carry over to their ability to learn other subjects. So I think all of that just educates their aesthetics, their personal taste, and attunes their ear to quality. I think that is important.
A lot of times in life, success is not objectively measurable in things like a grade. You look at smiles on children's face, you look at self-esteem, you look at how they have developed an ability to be in front of a crowd and not get nervous, which translates into things like being able to be successful in a job interview, creativity, really development of the whole person.
Keeping enrichment programs continues to be debated. It becomes self-evident that education is not simply the core subjects. Education is the production of a well-rounded student prepared both academically and culturally for their future.